So I'm in a meeting with one of my clients right now, and I decided that I'm going to record this because the information is valuable. So far, what we covered is what we need to do to get enough traffic to the website without losing money. And I was explaining to Tom how you leverage your numbers and so you end up risking in paid advertising, but not risking, like just throwing money in the air. So what I was showing him is that the first thing we need to do is to address these points here. So we have a product selection. Tom has a good selection of products. He's selling rotors. If you have one single product, you have to see how popular it is. In Tom's case, he has a lot of vehicle applications, which covers a broad market. So he addresses A. Inventory levels, he has 100% of inventory at any given time, so he addresses C, leaving him with B and D. And I was telling Tom between B and D, he needs to make sure that if he sells something for $200, he needs to have a big enough profit margin where he would be able to say, I will be happy with this return because he can pay for his other expenses, such as shopping cart lead and whatever else, and still take 50% of that profit, that net profit, and apply it to paid advertising. So an example I gave to Tom was if you sell something for $200 and you profit $50 from it, and you say, I will be happy to keep $25 in my pocket, and the other $25 I will be happy to reinvest it back into the business to paid advertising, which tells me that Tom needs to sell one item for every 25 real clients that he gets, which means that the cost per acquisition per client is $1. So Tom would have to, pay somebody, whoever it is, Google pay-per-click or eBay or Amazon, whoever it is, anybody who can give him 25 real buyers to consider his product, and then if he can make that one sale, then he meets his threshold. And then if he exceeds where he gets 26 buyers and still no sale, then that should give him a red flag saying that I didn't get the sale. I'm already at 26 people. I'm going to start going negative soon, and that should be a red flag. So Tom would have to tweak his paid advertising campaign to address his thresholds that he would set up. Now, one thing that some people might find themselves in is if you end up selling a product and there's just not enough profit margin. Let's say you sell it for $200 and the cost of goods is $190, so you only make $10. Not only are you not happy with $10, this is after credit card fees and so on. So let's say you keep $10 at the end. So not only are you not happy with $10, but you have absolutely no room to leverage advertising, because then if you spend $10 in advertising, you're breaking even every time if you get the advertising right. So it's important that the profit margin is there.
You have the profit margin on the SP stuff.
Okay, perfect. If we can address this formula, then we can come up with the numbers on what we have to meet, and then we have to decide where do we spend our threshold numbers on what paid channel of advertising. So this is purely the step to get traffic. Now I'm going to show you a chart. So there is 3 steps to making your website work. It doesn't matter. It's not even a website, just making an online business work. There's actually 4 steps. I'm not covering the step 0. The step 0 is setting up your website and actually making it functional, which a lot of people don't even get past that stage. I'm talking about graphic design, making sure the prices are set up properly. In other words, addressing this plus just making the website look good and so on. That's step 0. Now you're past step 0 right now. So we have 3 more steps to go before we can completely smooth out the marketing side of your website. So the first step is to get traffic, which is the awareness about your products and your website. The second step is for them to consider your product, and the third step is to close the actual sale. Okay?
Okay.
Now, what I covered here, hey, let's leverage your money in advertising. This specifically covers step 1, which is how do we get real people, real buyers, like, eyeballs to see your product. I'm not saying let's take $5,000 and shove it into your website right now and see what happens, because we still need to confirm that step 2 and step 3 is addressed properly. Okay. Because without addressing step 2 and step 3, if we only focus on step 1, yes, we'll get enough visitors to our website, but what you told me earlier on the phone, You said, I keep paying Google pay-per-click, but I'm not seeing the return on it.
Right.
And you're asking why not? Well, that's because you're getting the awareness, but you're not working on people actually, to come to your website and they're considering to buy your product, and your sales pitch or whatever, we'll cover that in a second, is weak. So they're going to be like, okay, I'll just go shop somewhere else. So we need to work on step 2 and step 3. Now, I'm going to specifically talk about SP rotors right now, but everything I say about SP will apply to all the products.
Okay.
Let's talk about step 2 for a second. So here's all the factors that have to come in play in order for you to have a very strong step 2. And whenever I say low prices, like you said, SP has a MAP price.
Right.
But some people might not know about the MAP price. So we have to tell them about MAP price. We have to tell them, look, SP Products has a MAP price. You cannot buy this cheaper from anywhere else. But we will give you free shipping and a 10% coupon, which will definitely make this price cheaper than anyone else on the internet. You can be guaranteed, and we'll guarantee that to you. So we guarantee the low prices.
Okay.
Overall trust factor is really more about just your website. Like, as a buyer who is used to shopping on Amazon or some other, big sites, I come to your site, and do I really feel comfortable that you're a legit business? So we can put things like the BBB logo, or just put a phone number. Let me go to your site. So like here we can put all, across the board, just kind of confirming that, hey, we're real. Like, call us now. We have experts standing by.
Okay.
Just something to make it look like, hey, we're a real business. There's real staff behind it. We're online right now, and we're going to help you right now.
Okay.
This kind of touches on the subject of step 3, which is how much customer service you have. Like, do you have a live chat? Do you, are you available on the phone, and so on. But this also touches the trust factor. Like, is your store trustworthy to put my credit card in there?
Right. Okay.
Product image quality, for rotors, it's not that big of a deal, but you do want to have good images of the rotors. There are some eBay sellers that I'm going to show you in a second. They have a really good copy with images. Like, they have a good ad copy with images. In fact, let's jump into that, because I'm going to show you some sales numbers from some of the highest selling sellers on eBay, and I'll kind of guess why they have those strong sales compared to others that don't. I'm sure they follow the same principles that I'm showing you right now. So I'm going to say eBay Motors, past 30 days, show me everybody who sells cross-drilled rotors.
I've kind of done this research, and probably the one's going to come up is brake motors.
Yeah, brake motor comes up because they're cheap. Their price is really cheap, but they also have an amazing ad copy.
Right. But I can tell you one thing. I've looked at some of the stuff they're selling, and you can't even ship out that stuff for the price they're selling it for.
That's okay, because price is important, but I'm going to show you how you can make it where price is no longer a factor.
Okay.
Because in reality, price is not a factor, quality is a factor. Put that question down. I'm going to answer that towards the end. How do I fight off someone like Brake Motive who is selling it for so cheap that I can't even touch it? All right. Now, I see that there is actually someone else besides Brake Motive that sells even more than they do.
R1 Concept, yeah.
R1 Concept, right. But even, we don't have to be Brake Motive. I'm sure you'll be okay with, being this guy, like selling $10,000 for now, right, or $20,000.
I'm actually surprised, because R1 Concept are not that cheap, like Brake Motive.
Let's see why. Let's look at one of their auctions. And you're right, it doesn't. Their average price is $188, Brake Motive is $110. Let's see how they structure their ad copy. So let's click on this one. Okay, so this is what I was telling you about good picture. This is not a great picture, but it's, this is a good picture. Like, see, like they blow up a shot of a rotor, and then they point out the good stuff about this rotor.
Right, okay.
Right. Whatever, bullet points, they cover lifetime warranty, but the key point is that they're telling you features about your rotor, and then let's say if I'm comparing their rotor to your rotor, and let's say truly SP rotor is better than their rotor, but because of the way that they're saying, okay, this one has maximum air circulation for increased cooling. What about this one? Does this one have the same thing or not? And if not, why not? Or they're saying they make it out of precision CNC, strong casting. Yeah, right here. They're like, this is a strong casting with G3500 iron grade. Like, honestly, to me, all of this sounds gibberish.
It is gibberish.
Right, but because they put all this information, it looks like, oh my God, they're pointing it out
Right.
because this is great, and they're also saying compared to other standard rotors, that's G3000,
Well,
right?
that's a misconception because a G3000 rotor is better than a G3500.
Again, you know this. As a buyer, I have no idea. To me, I'm only seeing one side of the argument because you're not making yours.
Right. Well, I have some of
So,
that information on there.
right, but you also, we can't just shove a bunch of text in there. It also has to be visually appealing. So, for example, since you're only focusing on a few products, let me show you one of our clients that, sells like tonneau covers, and he made his ad copy visually appealing, which, he can then reuse on eBay and wherever else. Like, you see how I don't know why his images are not, like, something is wrong with his thing, but he basically structured his ad inside this copy with images and copy. So in other words, he made like an eBay ad inside of his shopping cart lead description.
So you can just add images and HTML in the description.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
But you see what I'm talking
Right.
about, right? Like, he put a tables and he made it look really nice and stuff like that.
Now, that slowed down the website at all, or?
No, it would not slow down the website.
Actually, I did kind of do that on one of them.
Which one?
Go to a different product. Go to the cross-drill and slotted one. Or the cross-drill one right there to the right.
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, yeah, this is fine.
I just need to do it a little bit better, right?
You can do it better. You can make it nicer. You can just hire someone on odesk.com for $20. They'll turn this whole thing into a nice HTML layout. Or I can give you one of my designers to you can just pay him directly and he can do something nice for you. You can just what you did here is great. But once you're happy with the content, then you can give it to a designer to skin it for you so it looks presentable.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, what you did here is great. So I'm going to cover how to fight over the price at the very end. Let me just go through the rest of the conversion factors. Bottom line is your pictures and your ad copy is supposed to be better than your competitor.
Okay.
This proves to you why, they're saying we give you a lifetime warranty. And, he shows you all of these different factors with his rotor. Everybody who does not do this will suffer in conversions because this guy is doing it. So people are only getting one side of the story when they're comparing the products.
Okay.
Like you might have a 3000, and you might say whoever tells you about 3500 and says that 3000 is worse, they don't know what they're talking about, and you shouldn't even trust their ad. And here's proof why that makes no sense. And somebody who's a logical buyer, because there's 4 kinds of buyers. If you go to your tutorials in Shopping Cart Elite, and you type in the word persona, you can go to search and type in persona. There's 2 documents here. There's a cheat sheet here. Basically, this tells you about 4 kinds of buyers that can shop on your website. And then it tells you what kind of questions they will ask you. And it tells you how you should answer those kind of questions in your ad.
Okay.
So this is pretty helpful to figure out how to answer every possible question that you can get about the product. So you got someone this one is driver, aggressive individuals want to know what this product will do for me in order to attract this type of personality. You need to give them facts and what it will do for them. So this is the one that would actually, read about, hey, this is a G3500 iron cast and this will be the best fit for your vehicle, right? But then you have someone who's logical, who's actually going to say, individuals that need to know how and, why, and they're detail-oriented. They're going to say, well, why is the G3500 best for my vehicle, right? They're going to start doing the research. This guy will not do the research.
Yeah.
This guy will. So if you provide a fact saying the G3000 is better for whatever reason, and then provide proof, you'll address both of these personalities here. Then you have the caring buyer who just cares about testimonials and other people's opinion, which is where your eBay feedback comes in, but you can also provide, feedback from other customers, how they like the product. If you can get endorsements, I don't know if SP sponsors any race cars or anything like that, but if you can get endorsements, that's good also.
Okay.
And then you have the expressive impulsive. This person he's one of those buyers where he just has a credit card in his hand and he's ready to just press the add to cart button.
Right.
So if you can make a good enough argument fast enough, he'll just buy it from you and he doesn't care about everything else. Now, if you don't have a strong step 2, you're only catering to these people here, which is the impulsive buyers. There's a lot of them, but then you're missing the other 3.
Okay.
So, going back to our chart here, if you're only catering to one kind of buyer, right, and not all four of them, if we invest money and get 100 people, right, real customers, we have a 1-to-4 ratio for them to even consider buying our product. So instead of having 100% people consider our product, we're only betting on 25 people to consider our product, possibly.
Right. Okay.
So all of a sudden, you're expecting all 100 people that you paid premium advertising money for to come into your website and say, okay, what do you have for me? And next thing you know, only 1/4 of will actually be premium because the other 3/4 left because you didn't address something.
Right.
So this is where the FAQ comes in, to address all their questions. The touch real product visually. This is, if you provided enough pictures, high quality pictures, the customer feels a lot better buying the product because it's just, they can see the detail of it from all corners and stuff like that.
Okay.
Price comparison, if you notice, I made low prices bold, but I'm also putting price comparison. So if you think that somebody is cheaper, you can even tell them, I know that there's cheaper people out there. I know that you go on eBay and buy this product for 50% less. But here's what you should know about the 50% less product.
Right, okay.
Right, and you have to address all the cons to buying it cheaper versus buying it from you and paying a premium price because of quality.
Right, okay.
I'm going to show you how to make that whole presentation, like to really make a strong argument about your product. There's a course that I can give you my copy, and if somebody else needs it, just, they can ask me for it. How does an investment banker sell a multi-million-dollar deal to an investor? Let's say that I am the investor and you are, the manufacturer who is asking for money. How would you present me your rotors, and why would I give you a few $1 million to go and do your thing? So, I'm going to start throwing hard questions at you, like this guy is selling it for 50% less. How are you going to beat him in the market? And you need to answer that, and how and why and so on. So if you can address all those things, that means that all that information can then be passed along to your customers.
See what you're getting with that.
Website graphics, again, it's not bold, which means it's not critical, but the nicer your website, visually looks, again, it all comes back to the trust factor. If your target market expects not a very nicely visual website, a nice visual website can actually hurt conversions because buyers will feel intimidated that you seem too big for them or something like that. So the design has to cater to your customers, but obviously, it needs to be professionally made. I mean, your site is fine. I would maybe make it just a little bit more salesy, I guess. Like, for example, with this one, I would, lose the carbon and lose these little cars and just put, performance parts, accessories. We're experts in rotors. Here's our number. Just make it more salesy. Where more like, Jags or Auto Anything or, like some of the other performance websites. Basically, you want to align yourself to other big performance websites out there so you look just as big as them visually.
What about in the center there? What would you do in the banner section?
Well, look, Jags is pretty big with rotors, I would say, or some other performance shops. Just see what they're doing. I mean, right here, they did what I told you to do. They have a logo. They said, here's a way for you to contact us. Here's our big phone number. Here's our sales pitch. We get same-day shipping. You can say we have rotors in stock right now. We have price match. Like all of these are like sales slogans, sort of like thrown at the buyer. I would do something like this. I would, you can make a rotating banner with different slogans. This customer, Super Sprint Exhaust Shop, like he did a rotating banner showcasing the manufacturing process of his exhaust instead of throwing salesy logos in it. So it's like, this is dyno tested and this is made in Italy. Just nice pictures with a little slogan on it.
Okay.
So coupons, you said you already offer it, but you can maybe throw that. We have a rotating banner now that's site-wide rotating. So I don't know if you saw that one, but I'll show you right here. Let's do products. Okay. So you see, like this top banner here is going to be rotating. It's going to keep flipping. You can advertise a coupon here or something like that.
The way I have the coupon set is automatically discounted once they put it on the shopping cart.
That's fine, but you can let them know about that. Be like, everything is discounted as soon as you go to the card by 10%. Just add it to the cart. User reviews, again, this is just comments about the product. I mean, it's good to have, not important. Shipping cost, if you have free shipping, that obviously helps. Tell them about the easy returns and, tweaking the call to action. So tweaking the call to action can be something like, if you're going to be spending $1,000 a day, for example, advertising, and expecting $100,000 a month in sales, for example, you should create a call to action on a daily basis. So every day you go and change the banner to say the sale with 10% coupon is only today and it expires in 8 hours. So either buy it now with 10% off or you're not going to get it tomorrow.
Yeah, I've tried doing stuff like that. But
well, you need to have enough people to actually consider your product before you execute that. Anyway, so this is how to address your step 2. This image here that I showed you, kind of covers the same kind of things. They're saying know your visitors. It's pretty much the same thing that I covered. Now, the final step is, like I said, just be there. Email, live chat, have a presence on Facebook. You don't need to be active on there, but just show that you're active. In this document that's on Shopping Cart Elite's website, I put this whole sales pitch together. On page 33, I show you how to automate certain processes. And one of the processes that I show you how to automate is content distribution. You can check it out later. But basically, I'm saying that you can create one valuable article, just one, not 100, not 1,000, just one article that is going to be really good, really valuable article, which theoretically could be your sales pitch for the rotors,
okay.
right? And you put it through 2 places. You just plug it into 2 places, 2 different autoresponders in MailChimp, and from there on, the whole content will be distributed everywhere for the next year. To your email subscribers, to your blog, to different blogs, to your Facebook, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. So this whole thing can be completely automated. You just have to make, you make 1 article a week, and you're going to completely automate your distribution using this chart here.
Okay. Can you send me that link?
If you just go to Shopping Cart Elite and click on features and then click on, view prices and available packages, like that whole sales pitch is there. You should probably read through the whole thing because it's really new. I cover on page 33 about automation. And I actually go into a lot more detail on this same document, page 43. I have a little playlist here, how to evaluate an e-commerce business as a buyer. And then here I actually show you if you were selling your website to me, what kind of questions would I ask you? And obviously you might find them beneficial because if you're going to say, no, I didn't do this, you might want to do this. So if you're ever going to sell your business, you're going to be able to say yes to all those questions.
Okay.
I'll cover your questions in a second, but let me first tell you about the shortcut that I was telling you about. Let's say your question to me is, I'll work on step 2, but I don't have money for step 1, or, I don't feel comfortable doing step 1 because I'm just, because I know I need to, enough premium buyers, and I don't want to just throw money in the air. So what is the cheapest way to execute step 1, right? The cheapest way to execute is to actually put your product in front of buyers immediately on marketplaces that already can help you do that. So that would be something like eBay or Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So the question becomes is, yes, you'll make less of a profit because of their fees, but you will perfectly address step 1 and probably 70% of step 2. Why? Because step 1, eBay already has a ton of traffic, and eBay already addresses trust factor. eBay addresses graphics. eBay addresses, coupons is a click of a button. Privacy. All of this is already addressed by eBay because if you're an eBay customer, you don't have to worry about all this stuff. You just worry about the price.
Well, let's say Amazon. How does Amazon generate traffic to your website?
They don't.
They don't. It would just. And then I did read up on all the stuff you were talking about eBay. How does eBay bring traffic to the website?
Well, there's a few ways. Obviously, they message you and you tell them check out our website, or one of the things we do when you generate your auctions to Shopping Cart Elite, we automatically enable a way to do a best offer, but we say that if the best offer is less than 2% of your buy it now price, automatically decline it and tell them that if you want a cheaper price, go to our website and here is the exact URL to the product on the website.
Okay, so there's no direct way.
I mean, you could, but eBay does not like that. So if somebody,
right, I know that. I mean, I read up on that, and if you do put a website on it, they'll throw you off.
Right, right. But I'm not saying to drive traffic to the website. I'm saying just sell on eBay.
Right.
Your main thing to have a successful campaign on eBay really comes down to your presentation, which is your sales content, your pictures, and your actual presentation, right? So let's look at the Terapeak for a second before we talk about the presentation. So SP is a manufacturer, and I spoke to the owner.
Yeah, you talked to Sal?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was showing him Terapeak results, and he said that he would be interested. He was talking about either doing it himself or working with you, I don't know. But you can present it to him again.
Well, his concern was this one is not getting any, conversions. Why would we start another one until we can get this one figured out?
No, but what I'm talking about is actually selling on eBay specifically.
The major issue is the price gap between the two products that they're selling. And
the bottom line is this, that the money is there, right? They're a manufacturer, which means they do have a leverage to be competitive, right? They don't have to be overpriced, they don't have to be super cheap, but they can be competitive. And the money is there, right? So we're talking about between the top 5 guys, top 6 guys, we're talking about $300,000 a month in sales between the top 5 guys, which means that we want to do something to be one of the top 5 and be like number 5 and drive some people down the list, right?
okay.
So we're a manufacturer, we have inventory, we have a profit margin if we sell it at a price that we feel comfortable. So how do we get to be to the top 5? There's 2 steps to this. Step 1 is you go through each one of these guys and you can print out an ad from a few of their auctions. If they're the same, you can just print one ad. Literally print it out or save it as a PDF and take a piece of paper or if you feel comfortable on the computer, you can just do it on a Word doc and literally write out everything that they said about their product. Free shipping, cast iron, how good are their images, like cover everything that they have between all 5 of them. And then you want to note that because you want to, this is what they put together for their content. Then you might want to go to the persona doc that I showed you earlier, print this out, and make sure that you can add more questions and answers to what they did not cover to address all these personalities. Once you finish all that, you have the raw content that you need to make your presentation, to make your case. So the next thing is you just need to find out how to lay out your presentation for this product. So to do that, I have 2 courses I can give you. So one of them is where I told you where the investment bankers talks about his structure of how to do the deal. And I actually followed his structure to do this Shopping Cart Elite presentation here, which ended up being a 45-page presentation. You can just make articles out of each one of these. You can make a full presentation like a PDF, but you can also make articles out of each point that you're making. And whenever you talk about that bullet point in your content, you can say, if you want more information, click here to read more, and you'll have a more detailed article about whatever you wanted to tell the customer. Of course, yeah. You're allowed to have information pages. So the bottom line is that what's going to end up happening, and we actually, let me show you a real example on eBay for one product that
you can do that on eBay?
I helped put together. Yeah. So this is a new seller on eBay that sells the dash kits, which is the other company that I'm involved with. And the problem in the marketplace with dash kits is that this product here is not the cheapest product.
Right.
You can find it cheaper. So how do we fight off the cheaper product? So first, I made a video. This is actually me in the video. There is the vinyl dash kits, which, so this dash kit is $156, and the vinyl dash kits are like $20.
Right. I've seen this video.
Okay. And this video completely kills the vinyl dash kit. This video got 58,000 views already for a product comparison, So this addresses the really cheap stuff. But now there is other stuff that is $120 or $100, right? Supposedly same quality. So what do we do? So what I did was this fact here, I believe majority of polyurethanes are benzene-free. However, nobody's pointing that out. And what I did, I started pointing that fact out. And I'm saying that ours is benzene-free, and if you get one that's with benzene, you're actually affecting your health. And if you have children in your car, yes, you have a nice-looking dash kit that you save $20 on, but your kid is inhaling toxic fumes and he's going to get cancer. So why the hell are you going to save $20 to give your kid cancer? Right? So basically, you play the emotional card with a fact that probably applies to all manufacturers, but you're the only one that points it out. So all of a sudden, somebody might say, hey, I'm gonna buy it for $100 instead of $150. But then I tell them, look, you're going to get cancer if you buy the one for $100, and all of a sudden that $100 is no longer in the picture. So you need to come up with true facts about your product that others are not addressing. And you know how the other guy that I said, he probably talks about a bunch of gibberish on his, like hey, this is G3500, and this has an airflow, and this has this, and this has that. I'm pretty sure you can probably find 50 more bullet points to add to that rotor. You need to go and add those bullet points and show that to the customer. So if he has 5 bullet points, you want to put 20 of them and show more detail of your rotor. So the bottom line is, price is a factor if that's the only thing that's in front of you. But if you are talking about quality comparisons, price is no longer a factor. It's about comparing quality. If people are comparing quality, they would be willing to pay 1,000% more than they would based on quality. Just look at a comparison between a Toyota Camry and a Lexus ES, right? Same exact car, same chassis, but Lexus has more features on it, and it's a more luxurious brand. That's how they branded that. But it's really two same cars. I mean, if you sit in those cars, it's the same thing. But because they made a perception that it's more luxurious, and it's a Lexus, and it's like high-end, people pay $15,000 more to be in a Lexus while they can, be in the same car and pay $15,000 less. So you should never think that price is a factor. It's never a factor unless that's the only thing that's on paper to compare. You can try it, but you have to have a really, really strong argument on why people would pay $100 more for rotors. I'm familiar with auto parts because I've been dealing with them for a decade. And my whole thing about rotors is I used to buy cheap rotors myself. My problem with rotors is they start warping, and my car starts to shake after 5,000 miles, and yeah, I saved $100, but I have to go order new ones, go to my repair shop, pay them another $150, $200 to change them out. So really, I didn't save any money. And you need to make that point very clear because it's true. It's a true fact that nobody's addressing. You can even make a video about it saying, here is one main reason why you have to buy SP rotors than anybody else. And that is because you're going to save $100 right now, but you're going to lose $300 in 5 months. So you need to show quality. Why do you pay $100 more now? Because you're going to save $500 in 5 months. Or whatever, $300 in 5, whatever it is. So now if you have a strong enough argument, like I showed you, and I hope it makes sense to you, if you have a strong argument where you feel like you have to be a complete idiot not to buy my product and buy a cheaper one after what I presented to you, if you can say that to yourself and it's true, and other people will say, wow, you have a really good argument here, then, only then can you go to step one and leverage your advertising. Because at that point, you can be confident enough to say that all of my buyers or all of my potential customers who will come in will be presented the right information and enough good information to make an educated decision to buy my product. And if you spend $100 to get 100 buyers, all 100 will consider your product, not 1/4 of them.
Exactly. Okay, I see what you're saying.
So now let's go back to your site for a second and look at your real analytics here now. So I'm going to go to visitor actions. In the past 12 days,
right. Okay.
You had, anybody who spends more than 3 or 4 page views, so actions, more than 3 actions on your website is probably a legitimate buyer. He's probably legit.
No, it does make sense.
So you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, whatever. So let's say 50 people, right? So out of 620 people, you had 50 people, which means 8% of your traffic who came to your site were real buyers. 50 people considered your product. How many sales did you get in the past 12 days?
None.
Okay, so 50 real buyers considered your product. It's not BS traffic. It's not robots. 50 real people considered your product. Not one bought it. Now, going back to what I was saying, right, we had 50 real buyers, but in reality, we only probably had 50 divided by 4, 12 real buyers consider it because you haven't addressed the personas for the other 3. It might be more. I don't know how many impulsive buyers you had. Maybe you only had 5 impulsive buyers. And your 5 impulsive buyers, you didn't make a good enough argument for them to make a purchase now because you didn't have a good call to action or you didn't have good pictures or you didn't have something else. Bottom line is you have real people on your site right now considering your product and they're not buying it because your step 2 is not good enough, and obviously step 3 plays a role, but step 2 is the most important, I would say. You have enough traffic on your site now to experiment to see if your sales copy will convert if you enhance it and if you address all these issues. If you want to see what's going to happen if you put the whole thing on steroids, put it on eBay, and you'll see what's going to happen on eBay with the same amount of traffic. But my guess is this. If you have a good enough presentation for your rotors, you have to have at least 3% conversion, at least. If you have a great presentation and not a 3% conversion, then something is wrong, which means out of your 50 people in the past 12 days, you were supposed to get at least 1 or 2 sales. Minimum. You got 0, and that's because...
I mean, there was a point where I was getting more than that. I mean, there was a few months where, if you go take a look at the sales history, and you see there was a few months that it started to, started to work, and then
well,
it died
again,
out.
that's because, you had enough traffic. I can almost guarantee that is because you had more traffic on those months. The amount of impulsive buyers went up and caused your sales to actually exist. But you can imagine that if you had sales back then, you can multiply those by probably 4 if you had the sales copy in place. So you did have more traffic, and the Penguin Panda updates kind of downed it a little bit, not too much, but yeah, I think that's the main problem. And again, if you put your whole product on eBay right now, your traffic problem will be solved, and I can assure you that your sales conversions will not be any better because your presentation is not good enough. If you have a good presentation and you shove your whole thing on eBay and Amazon, your sales will skyrocket. You will be one of those top 5. You will have $20,000, $30,000 in sales.
Okay, so what I should have is have a template made for each product, right? It would have to be a different one for each one, correct?
I would recommend that. So first step, like I said, there is a few steps to follow. So let me just kind of put them on a notepad here for you. So step 1 is outline what competition is doing. So you print out all of their ads, including everybody who has, maybe websites also, competitor manufacturers, everybody. Get everybody in.
Okay.
Take all the content you can possibly get, see what they have. Then address the FAQ, which is the frequently asked questions from the persona, to make sure that all the questions are addressed. Then create your ad based on your personal knowledge with images, right, with images. And then you can have the ad skinned. Now, optionally, if you have time, what I would recommend is I can send you a course. It's a sales marketing course. I have 2 of them. I can give you both of them. That will give you the psychological step-by-step plan of how the big pictures works with presentations, and it just kind of gives you the whole 9 yards of how to make a very powerful presentation where you can sell this thing to investors. Because if you can sell it to an investor, you can sell it to a customer.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Now, if you have time for that, I'll give it to you. But if you don't have time, you don't really, this should be enough here. Like these 4 points here.
Yeah.
Now, have the ad skinned like a web designer, like an Odesk or whatever. I can refer you to somebody if you like. And
Yeah.
the one thing that you can also do for eBay, we just released this feature, and we now allow you to create a template within Shopping Cart Lead. So basically, you can actually have a template made for Shopping Cart Lead and have it skinned so your ad will look like Break Motive and everybody else.
Okay.
I believe, see, like if you click on this little edit button, here is what the template looks like. You just copy this code and you tell the guy, whoever's skinning your stuff, you tell him, reskin my template based on these tags. Tags being payment. So see, like it says shipping, payments, specifications. All of this will get pre-filled with content based on your product information in Shopping Cart Lead. And all of these classes is CSS that you can have a web designer skin for you.
All right. Yeah, if you can recommend somebody, because I really don't know anybody that can do that.
Okay, I'll give you someone on Skype, and just let me know when you're ready with your ad, and I'll give them to you, okay?
Okay.
All right, so to finalize the whole thing, what other questions did you have that I said write it down so we can address them? Did I address all of them, or?
Oh, where we're going to show the stock. You were telling me that you need to show that you have it in stock.
Oh, yes. Right, we need to show inventory, so you go to products and you go to inventory, and you can literally, since you have unlimited inventory, you can just go to import. There's a tutorial on how to do this, but you can just say, we have a stock of 99 for everything, and just let it sit there, and that's it.
Oh, so it'll actually show 99 in stock? Okay.
Yeah. So that will address one of the concerns that buyers might have. Will I have this product available to me right away or not.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the other question was traffic, but I think we already went through that. Third question was how do I fight brick motive? And I guess you addressed that too.
So traffic is really about doing your numbers. If you're going to be ready for pay-per-click, we have something called ROI. Tells you where your traffic is coming from and how many people converted, how many people registered, how many people made a purchase, and so on.
Right.
And what your conversion number is. So paying Google AdWords is going to tell you that, here is all the keywords that you got traffic from, and here's how much sales you got from it. And if you see a keyword draining your campaign, you kill it.
Right. Well, I've tried two different strategies. I tried long words, then I tried the most popular words, and it just seems to just not getting the conversions. But I guess, it's what you're saying with the graphic.
Well, the presentation layer we need to fix.
Right.
Once you see conversions, you have enough traffic right now to come up with a number. Let's say that you do everything, you plug it into the website, and next thing you know, let's say that you're at a 5% conversion, right? So 50 people, real 50 people come in, and you get, let's say, 3 sales out of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say between the 3 sales, you make $50. So you make $150. So for every 50 people that come in, you make $150, and that's a proven stat, and it happens every single time. So month after month, you end up getting 50 people, real ones, and month after month, you make $150 net profit on those every 50 people that come in.
Right.
So if you have that solid stat, that means that now you can rely on the fact that you need to get 50 more people for $50, so you can pocket 100.
Right.
So you go to Google and you say, I'm going to give you $50. I'm going to bid on this keyword, and you better send me 50 real people that are the right traffic to make 3 sales. And if that happens, great. So you do the next keywords and the next keywords, and you keep growing like that. That's how you grow.
Right. Well, I've kind of experimented with that. It just seems like,
Yeah, but you don't have your threshold, and you don't have a good enough presentation layer to really put this whole thing into effect.
Okay. So we'll have to fix that first.
Yes, and the last thing is this. The latest Google Panda and Penguin update really went after duplicate content, which all your products, I'm sure, has that since it's data shared.
Well, I spun all the SP stuff.
Okay. What I was going to say is this. If you want to know if you have duplicate content, you can just, take this sentence here and just put it through Google, and you can see how many more websites have the same word. And there's a lot of them that have the same thing. And if that's the case, then you want to definitely change that, because Google will now only rank one website in the top 10 who has unique content. They will not rank you if you have duplicate content with someone else, and they'll obviously choose somebody with higher authority.
Right. So you think I need to do that for every single product, or just the ones I'm focusing on?
Well, here's the thing. You want to do the presentation layer on what you're focusing on, but for your other products, if they're not very important for you, but just so you don't have completely similar content between others, I recommend binrewriter.com. I can give you my login to it. And what you do here is you're going to say rewrite your articles, and you can say rewrite multiple articles, and you could actually upload a text file, or you can upload a zip file with multiple articles in them. Or they have an API. Basically, if you want this whole thing done for you, I have someone who can do it for like between $100 and $300, and right into your shopping cart lead, he'll do the whole 9 yards. He can do the whole thing for you, or you can just do it yourself. It's up to you.
My question to you is, if for those specific products I don't do it, does it affect the ones I did it with?
It's a debate right now. Some people say yes, because they're saying that if you have too much duplicate content on your site, your whole site gets like a penalty score on it. Now, it doesn't get penalized like you're banned, but they don't rank you as high even for the ones that you do have unique content. That's why I was going to say that something for you to consider, if you want to see a boost in traffic. I mean, you'll get a boost in traffic regardless because you have unique content now. And, you can experiment, yourself and try to do this. If you don't have too many products, theoretically, you can even just hire someone to do, go in and do one by one and rewrite and then plug it in, rewrite and plug it in, and and agree on a flat price of $100 or something like that to do all your products, and that's it, and just give them access to shopping cart lead and let them do one by one themselves. It's up to you how you want to do it, but I would recommend doing this.
I did it for all the SP content.
Okay, good. So basically, we covered the traffic, we covered the conversion. You also, I didn't really touch on step 3, but that's also very important, which is, having the live chat with ClickDesk. I have a tutorial on how to implement it. So actually, if you go to topic and then marketing, the first thing that comes up is live chat, and I made a video why you should do live chat, and then I show you statistics, what happens when you have live chat. I think you should implement this.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
All right. So I think I covered everything, unless you have any questions.
I guess at the moment I don't, but if I do, I'll email you.
Okay, yeah, just let me know. And like I said, work on this first. And my personal recommendation is once you finish your presentation, just so you can kind of jump into the water and see how you swim, as soon as you finish your presentation layer, just submit the whole thing on eBay. I mean, you have a total of maybe 5,000 part numbers, right? So with an eBay store, you're talking about spending like $300 total on listing fees. But if you're truly confident that you have a strong argument why your product is better, just list the whole 9 yards and see what happens. I can almost guarantee that you will be reimbursed your $300 listing fee, and you're going to see you're going to jump into the top 10 for sure, maybe even top 5.
Do I need to do an eBay store or just throw them in as auctions or?
If you do auctions, you're going to end up paying too much money. With the eBay store, they have 3 different stores. If you get the medium one, which is $50 a month, you pay 5 cents a listing. So if you have 5,000 listings, you end up paying $250.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
If you do it by auction, I believe it's like $1 in auction, so you're going to end up paying $5,000, which is not worth it.
Okay.
Definitely eBay. I mean, you have a good enough product to go on eBay because your inventory levels are there, which is extremely important for eBay. You are dealing with a manufacturer, which means you can really make a good argument on why the product is better. It's not even 99%. I'm 100% sure that if you do this right, what I presented to you, and you have a good enough template and you have all the presentation and the pictures and everything else, you will get this business to at least $20,000 a month, or maybe even be side by side with Break Motive. Who knows?
All right, well, we got to give it a shot, that's for sure.
All right, sounds great. So I will talk to you later.
All right, very good. Thank you, Igor.